I came here for a visit in 1995. I really enjoyed the love, the spirit of oneness that was here in our community in Israel. Coming from America, I just knew that this was the place that I wanted to have children and raise my children.
In 1998, Tovit picked up her entire life in America and moved to Dimona, a small town in southern Israel. Now she's lived here for over 2 decades, has had all of her 8 children here, but soon they may all be forced to leave.
April, I received a letter of deportation with my name on it, as well as all of my children's names. At that time, we were given 60 days, and we were told we would be deported from the land of Israel.
Tovit and her family are some of 51 Black Hebrew Israelites slapped with deportation orders in April. Now, they're fighting to stay in Israel. Black Hebrew Israelites are a community of Black Americans who believe that the West Africans brought over to the Americas during the transatlantic slave trade had belonged to one of the lost tribes of Israel, and that their mission is to one day return to the land they say they were expelled from.
We wanted to find out where our roots lie, and our roots lie here. And our ancestral homeland we consider to be here, literally here in southern Judea. So that's how we identify as Jewish, because we're Judeans. We live here, and we say that that's our tribal affiliation.
Around the early 1970s, Black Hebrew Israelites began trickling into Israel on tourist visas, where they established an urban kibbutz known as the Village of Peace in Dimona. Neither Israel nor any of the state's religious bodies recognize Black Hebrew Israelites as Jewish, disqualifying them from citizenship under the law of return. Agreements have been reached over time, allowing members of the community to gain long-term resident status in return for children serving in the IDF. Now, the Dimona community is thriving 3,000 members strong, but not everyone is reaping the benefits.
We really had wanted to get some resolution on their cases, but we never were able to get the cooperation because different governments came in and it was such a hot potato, nobody wanted to deal with it, so they kicked it up the road. And so when the Ministry of Interior signed or sent the letters to these individuals, it was like, why are you doing this now? And all of a sudden they wanted to act as if they had discovered us, discovered these brothers and sisters living here, and we had let them know that they were living here.
Unlike Tovit, this Dimona resident didn't find the Black Hebrew Israelite community. She was born into it.
I was born and raised in Israel. I was taken to the States against my will at the age of 14 by my parents, of course. And ever since I left, I always wanted to make it back.
After moving to the United States with her parents at 14, she only had one dream: make it back to Israel.
When my feet stepped here, I was free. I was like, I'm home, this is it, I can move.
Now, she and her American husband live in Dimona with their 6 children, where they keep Shabbat, observe all the Jewish holidays, and follow the Torah.
We maintain those particular disciplines, especially the spiritual 10 laws. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt honor thy mother and father. These are tenets that we live by, that govern ourselves.
As families fight their deportation orders, parents say even if they lose, they will not take their children to the United States, where they say racism and violence make it impossible to live freely. Even though their children's movements in Israel remain severely restricted into adulthood. Akimil was born into Israel without any legal status, working odd jobs to pay the bills, and watching his peers live his dream of joining the IDF.
I had a few lawyers, and we was trying to get me into the army, into the military. I decided I wanted to be a pilot. The same day my teacher told me, I'm not gonna be what I want, I said, I'm gonna be a pilot, and I walked off the class. I left. On my graduation day, I definitely had to express myself to that teacher, but I'm still on my way.
All 51 cases are set to be tried separately, where each slated deportee will argue for their right to stay in Israel.
Do you know what you're going to do if you lose the court cases?
I'm going to live. I'm going to live. I mean, if that is the next chapter on our journey as a family, we're gonna, we'll deal with it.
It's a matter of if I have to spend money, whatever the case is, the years, the time, I'm willing to do it.
In 8th grade, I decided nobody is gonna stop me. And this is my home. Like, this is all I know. It's all I know.